We previously discussed these three properties of logarithms. It's important that you're comfortable using these properties to rewrite logarithmic expressions. Depending on the situation, you may want to use these properties to expand a logarithmic expression, or to condense a logarithmic expression. Let's go over how to do both things. Here's a logarithmic expression that's very condensed. Using the properties of logarithms, we can expand this expression so that instead of having a log of a product and with an exponent on a variable, we can just have some simple multiplication and addition. For our first step, let's split up the multiplication. When we have stuff getting multiplied in a log function, we can split it up as addition. So the log of 8 times x squared times y is the log of 8 plus the log of x squared plus the log of y. This is, of course, all with base 3. So that's the product property. We can write the log of a product of factors as the sum of the logs of those factors. Next, notice that x squared has an exponent of 2, and by the power property, we can bring that exponent, that power, down in front of the log as a factor. And that's our final step. We bring that 2 out, so now it's a factor, and the x inside the logarithm no longer has a power. So now instead of having a bunch of stuff multiplied inside the log function and an exponent, all we have is addition and a multiplication by 2. Here's a natural log expression. That's a logarithm with base e. We have the natural log of the square root of 4x minus 2 divided by 5. The first thing we might want to do is rewrite that square root as a rational power. The square root is the same as a power of 1/2. So now we have the natural log of this divided by this. Next, just like in the first example, where we split the product into addition, we can split this quotient, using the quotient property, into subtraction, the natural log of the numerator minus the natural log of the denominator. And we see that there, the natural log of the numerator minus the natural log of the denominator. The last thing we should do is rewrite this power. There's a power of 1/2 inside the natural log. So by the power property, we can take that out of the log as a factor. That gives us this final expanded version, 1/2 natural log of 4x minus 2 minus the natural log of 5. Now, instead of a square root and division, all we have is subtraction and multiplication by 1/2. By expanding the expression, we simplify the operations. Of course, we can also go the other direction. We can take an expanded logarithmic expression like this and use our log properties to condense it. Notice that this is the common log, which is assumed to have base 10. Each of these logarithms has a factor outside of it. So let's begin by bringing those factors into the log as a power. Having 1/2 outside the log is the same as having it as a power of the log's input. Having 4 outside the log is the same as having 4 as the power of the log's input. Now we have log of this plus log of this. We can use the product property to bring that into a single log, where these inputs are getting multiplied together. And there that is. Note that we've rewritten x to the 1/2 as the square root of x. They are, of course, the same thing. So we just have those two inputs getting multiplied together. Root x times x minus 2 to the power of 4. And remember, we can only apply these properties when the logs have the same base. Both of these are common logs with a base of 10. So we can rewrite a sum of the logs as a single log with those inputs multiplied together. In this next expression, we have natural logs that have a base of e. This first one has a 5 as a factor outside of it. So let's bring it in as a power of the input. So we've brought that 5 in. Now it's a power of x plus 3 inside the natural log. Next, we have one natural log minus another, so we can rewrite that as a single natural log with these inputs getting divided. It will be this one divided by this one, since this is the input of the log function that's being subtracted. So the log function that's being subtracted, we put its input, x, in the denominator, and that is our fully condensed version, the natural log of x plus 3 to the 5 divided by x. So that's how to use the properties of logarithms to expand and condense logarithmic expressions. I'll leave a link in the description to a lesson with some additional practice problems using these skills. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and be sure to check out my Precalculus course and Precalculus exercises playlists in the description for more. Thanks for watching.
Stressed out, sweetie, I'm stressed out. Sounds like you've been stressed out. Tell me what you're stressed about. Stressed out, honey, I've been stressed out lately. Don't know what's what, don't know what I'm stressed about. Stressed out, sweetie, I'm stressed out. Sounds like you've been stressed out. Tell me what you're stressed about.